Okay, so this video is gonna be like a mix of stuff. Um, so I'm gonna talk about the results I got from just what I think about the results I got from the last video I put up on just cutting water bottles with these two knives. I'll show you the sheath I made, the kydex sheath I made for this. I'll talk about that, and then I have a future knife in mind that I want to make. So hopefully this video won't be too long. I just decided to put it all together because individually I think it would just be too boring to just do it on one thing out of those three. So well, on the results, kind of weird for me results. So just on the bottles with water, this one for sure, way better than the Kris knife. So I felt like no resistance cutting through the water bottles, and they, as you can see, like in the video too, they just stayed there. I mean, some of the cuts seem like the top just fell off, which is kind of nuts. So, but where it gets kind of weird is the bottles that were just hanging from a line, and so at first I thought I started seeing like a pattern or a reason why the things were going the way they were. So it's kind of exemplified a little bit more on this with this water bottle. So I hit this bottle with the Espada XL, and as you can see all this stress here, all this stress. When I saw this, so I just figured, okay, this is 4 millimeters. This is about 5, but it's super wide. It has a hollow grind. And then, so behind the edge, it's thinner than this one. So what I figured was happening was, basically, it hits the bottle, gets to the point where the hollow grind gets wider, and then that's where all the breakage on the bottle was happening, and that's where all this stress all of a sudden was like adding up, and it just basically, instead of just cutting through, it goes from super smooth to all of a sudden an increase in width, and that's what caused this to like just fly off and not cut through. So that was the thought behind that. And so here's the other bottle, the one that Kris cut, and it's very like a pretty clean cut, not really much stress. So that kind of seemed okay. That's where it's going. In my mind, that's what I thought. But when I got to the Gatorade bottles, this is the Kris, and it's just, it's a pretty clean cut. Here's the first cut I did with the Kris, and there's a lot of stress there, and that basically is from the drawing. That's basically from this hump here, hitting that particular spot. So left a little dent, made left a lot of stress there. But then the second one just cut through pretty cleanly. So what I was expecting to see was something similar to the last bottle with the Espada XL. I was expecting to see the same thing. Maybe it goes into about this point, creates a lot of stress, and then doesn't go through. So first hit for the Espada XL, it went in, but not as deep as the Kris. So okay, I'm like, all right, so the second hit is probably gonna do the same thing. But then it just cut through it, like pretty similar to the Kris. So and with stress points, there's not really much too. So I don't know what to think. I'm gonna do another video on these two, and I'm gonna cut some different things. I gotta think of stuff to cut, and see what happens too. So this will be to be continued. If you have any ideas, let me know on what's happening. I am, just from my end, and this is something that just you can't really tell from a video, but cutting the empty bottles, I had to swing this a lot harder. It felt like I was swinging this a lot harder to than I was this. I mean, I can't swing this as hard as I can swing this. So I was swinging both. I mean, I was swinging both as hard as I could. I can swing this a lot harder, but I ended up getting similar results to this one or worse. So that's the only thing that on my end. But the thing is, I'm not a machine, so for all I know, I was kind of like hitting it the same, and it just seemed that way. So, but more tests to come on these. We'll see what happens, or if there's anything interesting to see. If I can think of some particular cut tests to do. So, kydex sheath. I did do a video before I even made the sheath, and then but I had some like crazy idea how to make the sheath, because I thought the undulations were going to be like super hard to basically get it to work, and it turned out to be a lot easier than I thought it would. So I didn't put it up. I didn't put up that video because it's just like I have all these like, it's not a crazy way of like making the kydex sheath. It's just different. I don't even know if it would work or not, but like a minute after I made that video, I sat down and like looked at the knife, and I'm like, okay, I can just make it this way. And so I'll tell you how I made it. Basically, so you can. So basically, how I made it was I imprinted the kydex, so heated it up, imprinted it just like you would, just a regular knife. But once I did that, right where the undulations are, you have a problem there, here, and then here and here. The problem is that the kydex is basically holding it's holding the sheath from coming out completely nice and smooth. So all I did was, and it wasn't actually that hard, I just had to like work it a little bit, was I heated up the spots where the undulations were. So here, and it's like around here. I did that, and that solved it basically. So I did that and then pinched it here. You can tell. So the reason I pinched it here was this wasn't gripping as well as I wanted it to. And there's a problem. My sheaths, I like them to come out with just my thumb when I press it. The problem is this one won't. And the reason is this hump and this other hump that comes out. So this hump gives me the traction I need to keep it inside. This second hump prevents it from being pushed, from it falling out once I get it past the first hump. So once I get it past the first hump, it should just fall out, but the second hump prevents it from falling out cleanly. So there is that problem, but that's fine to me. I mean, it's easy to just pull out one-handed. Yeah, overall, not as hard as I thought it would be. That's why I just decided to put this video together with everything else, because if it would have been like something crazy hard, maybe I'll do the weird way that I thought of doing it the first time. And if I do, I'll put up that video too, and see what happens. I do have some more kydex. I might do that later on. So that's just the kydex sheath. Came out pretty okay. So and then last, so I want to make in my mind, I'm not really like a chef or anything like that. I don't really cook that much, but I want to make like the perfect chef knife. So I know I have a chef knife that I made in 3V, but that one was like a cross of chef knife and like bushcraft kind of, or just like a heavy duty crazy thing. It was just something that I wanted to make just to I had an idea of like a crazy knife, and I just wanted to put it together. So this one I want to make a chef knife, and basically I have an idea of what I want. The metal is actually coming in 2 days. It'll be here, so I'll get started when it does get here. But basically, what I have in mind is this will be Vanex. If you don't know about Vanex steel, like look it up. It's like super nice, like crazy nice. So I've never used anything that has Vanex, and I've only heard about Vanex. So the thought came up of using it, and it's raining. It's actually raining pretty hard, so hopefully that doesn't distract anybody too much. So Vanex steel for the blade. The thickest I could find was 0.098, and it's going to be a 2-inch wide blade. The blade itself is going to be 7.5 inches. The handle is going to be 4.5 inches. This is actually going to be for my mom. So this will be copper here. It's going to have a little copper bolster thing here. Copper's good at, and a lot of people know this, I guess, but copper, raw copper, is good for killing bacteria and stuff like that. So I'll have this little border here of just copper, and just because it'll be like washed again and again and again, so it'll stay like, you know, like a raw. It won't patina or anything like that easily because it'll be continuously washed. So it should keep that property of like killing bacteria. And then the pins, once again, I'm gonna use 3/16, but I'm gonna use copper pins for it. And then the wood, I'm gonna use it's called pink ivory. So pink ivory, really good pink ivory is it's a really nice pink. It's almost reddish, but if you get a really nice piece, it's a really like kind of reddish, brightish pink. So it should come out really nice with the copper. So just just for later on, I'll see how that comes out. And that's basically it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Any suggestions too? I'm always open to suggestions. Also, just like on kydex and stuff like that. If you guys work kydex or something like that, or anything. I mean, I guess the shape of the knife. This isn't done yet, so we'll see what happens. Okay. Well, all right. Bye.